Hey guys, AniMind here, and welcome back to another speed paint video. And today, as you can probably see, I'm doing the same as in my previous two speed paints, where the pencil sketch is mostly finished, and I just add a few details and then do the normal sketch, because this gives me more time in the videos to add some detail while not making the video too long. So yeah, please also comment down below what you think about this new way of doing it, because then you also don't see me draw it over and over again like 2 times, so then you only see me draw it 1 time. And also sometimes there are some small differences, so maybe you like to see how I designed the first types of drawings and then see how I adapt them to my new view, because your the view of what you want to draw changes throughout drawing the image. Even at the last moment you might be like, oh no, I need to change this. Just like in my last video where I drew sorry, I can't speak today, where I drew Kilimanjaro, which is a dormant volcano, and then in that image it's no longer dormant, but I added lava, but there was also smoke, so I decided to just keep the smoke and instead take the lava out, because the lava really didn't look good, because it was like from a far away site, and that just didn't fit the image. So yeah, also comment down below what you thought about that decision, because I think it was the right one. If you think it looked better with the lava, maybe I'll make a third adaptation of that image. But yeah, and anyway, sorry for that 2-minute intro. Today I'm going to talk a bit more about my storyline. I'm going to do it a little quick, and I'm going to explain who this mysterious character is, who is looking outside of a pyramid. If you wondered what this was a pyramid. If the weird drawings and stuff weren't, and hieroglyphics weren't obvious to you, her name is tied between 2 at the moment, just like how Victoria's name was tied between 2, and then I just chose entirely other one. So it may change, but it's between Sophie and Angela. But at the moment I like Angela a little bit more. It sounds a little bit more modern than Sophie. Sophie sounds more of a small girl or old lady's name. So yeah, also comment down below which one you like more, or suggest an entirely different one if you like that more. By the way, if you ever see a drawing of a girl with curly blonde hair and usually a red shirt, then it's probably her in my images. So yeah, and yeah, I'm going to continue from where I was at the storyline. I believe I was where I talked about how the non-magical eras exist, and I'm now going to talk about the storyline itself. Sorry, and not that much about the lore. But yeah, so the non-magical era, this one that is with Nigel and Victoria, actually started just after Nigel dug out the book. But what happens is he opens the book, and as soon as he actually touches the book, he opens it. He touches it with an opening motion, and oh no, never mind. Sorry, that was wrong. Sorry. He touches the book. He doesn't open it, and as he touches the book, his hand gets engulfed by black-like fluid, which absorbs his hand, and then his eyes go white. His pupils fade, basically, and he starts floating randomly in the air. And usually in my storyline, that if you start floating in the air and your pupils fade, that means that there's something wrong most of the time. So yeah, just a heads up for future reference. But yeah, and what happens here is this book is actually a book that is absorbed by pure evil. Pure evil and pure goodness are 2 themes in my storyline, and yeah, I really like how I've developed it, but I'm not going to talk too much about it now, because that's a bit of a other topic. But anyway, he's developed by pure evil, which is evil if you want it. It's not good or anything in the storyline. And he becomes evil. He tries to attack Victoria. They have a bit of a showdown, but because the non-magical era literally just started, they get sucked up almost by a hurricane-like thing, and then everything fades back to black. And Victoria opens her eyes and looks and sees that she is half in ice, and she's being carried by two mermen. Mermen do exist in my storyline, and they're basically idiots, if I can say it like that. They are idiots. Mermaids are those who have power, and mermen have no power except for breathing underwater and being able to walk on land as well. They're literally just idiots with almost no powers, only they are more they're basically intelligent amphibians, if I can say it like that. They need water, but they can live without water for a while, and they're really stupid. They're not intelligent, but they can grasp better concepts than a frog. Well, some of them can, but most of them are able to. But yeah, and she's carried. I'm just going to skip ahead a bit. I don't want to use too many details. Blah 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 goes on. The mermaids were trying to trap the magical creatures and start off the new magical era with them on top of it, but because of Victoria and also Nigel escaping, because Nigel froze before Victoria, which meant that he was trapped deeper in the ice. Victoria escapes from Nigel and the mermaids, but first escapes from the mermaids and then Nigel, if you know what I mean. And then ends up in New York, because this was in Greenland, a glacier over there. And by the way, this is in 2040, as I said in a previous video, I believe. She goes from Greenland to the North America and goes to New York, and she uses a skyship, which is basically like a ship attached to a cloud, and there she goes to New York, where she sees a bunch of indigenous American magical creatures wreaking havoc across the lands, and there are also beavers. Beavers are like powerful, and you do not want to mess with a beaver in the storyline. That's all I'm going to say, just to be like vague and stuff. Just don't mess with beavers. That's all I'm going to say. So yeah, and that just happens to show the level of chaos there was at the beginning of the storyline, with the first magical creatures escaping. And later on it will show more civilization between the two groups. Basically what happens is Victoria then goes to a more familiar area, Europe, after getting a smartphone and figuring it out. And there she finds a little girl, which she... okay, now this is quite complicated. I'll explain it more in the next video because I'm running out of time. But basically what happens is Nigel mind controls her. Then she has to find the book that Nigel needs because it's vague stuff. It will be explained later. And then Victoria escapes from the mind control and adopts Sophie or Angela. So yeah, she's her goddaughter. But yeah, sorry, my time is up. I'll see you in the next video. It will probably be a part 2 of this video because I didn't explain that much. But thank you, leave a like, and goodbye.